Boxing is being brought to you tonight by Budweiser. Fresh, pure, natural. Proud to be your bud. By Las Vegas. Where in the world can you find so much excitement, entertainment, and value? Only in Las Vegas. And by Head & Shoulders Dry Scalp and Dry Scalp 2-in-1. Because beautiful hair can't have flakes.
There we go.
It's time now for Ringside Report. Ringside Report is brought to you tonight by Sports Cream. When muscles ache, rub in Sports Cream for fast pain relief. Well, 2 weeks in a row, we had a championship fight over in England. This one took place in Manchester. Actually, the first one was up in Wales. Chris Eubank and Nigel Benn. It was a rematch. I'll tell you what, I was in Zurich doing a tennis tournament. I sat up until about 2 o'clock in the morning watching that fight. Wasn't worth it.
Turned out not to be the fight that everyone thought it would be. Eubank and Benn had quite a grudge against each other, and usually that turns into a bad fight, doesn't it? They were fighting for Benn's super middleweight title, and Nigel Benn, the big puncher, Eubank, a big puncher, and you hit it, Barry, when we were talking about it earlier. They were both loading up.
Yeah, but nobody threw any combinations, and I think that was the difference in the fight. Eubank spent more time posing than he did boxing, and Nigel Benn looks to me like he may be around the bend, if you'll pardon the expression.
Well, you know what I think? Was that a pun? Yeah. I think the thing about it is that when guys feel such animosity for each other, they get tight and they perform very poorly, and that is really what happened in this bout.
Fight really drew very well, though. 45,000 people
in
a soccer stadium in Manchester. Let's talk about another guy that you like a lot, Gennaro Hernandez. He fought a fellow by the name of Harold Warren down in the Forum. They continually have good fights in the Forum, and this was just one of them.
Excellent match. And Gennaro Hernandez, the junior lightweight champion, WBA variety, fighting a good guy in Harold Warren. Harold Warren is an excellent fighter, and that figured to be a very close fight. Hernandez won it by decision. They're talking about Oscar De La Hoya maybe challenging Hernandez for his junior lightweight title. They better make sure that Oscar's ready, because this guy is tough.
Another fight that took place down in Puerto Rico, John Molina fighting. He fought Bernard Taylor.
Bernard Taylor, a great guy who has been around for a long time. He has a couple of title shots, failing in this one. John Molina, a very fine fighter. Well, you don't root for anybody. You hate to see Bernard Taylor go out with a loss because he's a great guy.
Well, speaking of rooting for people, one guy that you can't help but root for in the game of life as much as in the ring, a guy that we're going to be seeing on October 30th, Michael Carbajal.
Michael Carbajal is, we're going to see, he's going to be in the pay-per-view on October 30th against Domingo Sosa. And a very special look. We had a chance to make a very special look at Michael Carbajal. And he is a guy that you do root for. And we'll take a look at Michael right now.
Carbajal.
I've always bugged my father that I wanted to, fight since I was about 6, 7 years old, and, I just kept going and going, but they just told me to wait till I get older. And, Danny had the little gym in his backyard where he had the bag, the speed bag. He had trained my other brother, Alex, for a little while, and then just one day he came up to me and just started training me, and from there on, he seen that all the dedication was there and just kept it going from there on.
The very first fight he had, we went to Tucson, and he fought this one kid who's already had a lot of experience. He lost the fight, but he showed in the third round, he connected the guy with the right hand, and without any kind of, having to think about it, he just, no style or nothing, he just ran after him, just started throwing. I said, oh, there, it's there. He knows when he's got the opponent in trouble and what to do with it.
My father taught me all the basics. He used to have us all, learn how to throw the right hand, how to throw a hook, how to throw a jab, and that's where it all began.
After 84, I think it was, we started to think about, if he's going to go to the Olympics, then he's going to have to change. He's going to have to change the style from trying to pick his shots and do the more damage. He's going to have to be able to box a little more, throw a lot more punches. and just score instead of standing there and trying to bang with anybody.
Little Hands of Stone is the name of this program, and you can watch it Friday, October 22nd. Al Bernstein spending quite a lot of time with Michael Carbajal down in Arizona, and as I said, we don't have a rooting interest of what goes on in the ring, but as a family, you really do root for the Carbajals.
You know, and you take a look at where the that is leading to, and that is leading to the October 30th pay-per-view, when you'll get to see Carbajal along with Oscar De La Hoya, Lupe Aquino in the WBO Super Welterweight Championship match. Those are all good fights, and I'll tell you what, the thing about Michael Carbajal, in my opinion, is that you're looking at a guy whose story is real. When you go to see him in Phoenix and you're around him and around his family, Barry, it's not a hype. It's not some PR man's imagination that made that up. It's real.
Let's go back for just a moment and talk about the scoring now. It's something new. It's not the first time it's ever been done, but it's recently new, if you will. We've just seen it in the first fight, and let's talk a little bit just about your opinion, if you felt it worked, if you felt this is something we should see more of.
I thought it was fascinating, and you see they're all getting ready to score that round for Freddie Liberatore. I think that the thing about this that is fascinating to me is, number one, it did work. The scoring was pretty fair and I thought pretty okay. More than that, the corners really didn't take advantage of it. Freddie Liberatore didn't want to know he was ahead in the 10th round. They obviously didn't know in Pena's corner, because they didn't tell him, go out, you got to get a knockout to win this fight. If it was me, I'd have a guy sitting off in the corner, keeping track with a paper and pencil, and if I was the fighter, I sure as hell would like to know, because I'd like to know if in the 10th round I could just walk around and see if I could have a prevent defense, and if I was behind in the 10th round, I'd want to know if I had to knock him out.
This is a sport, however, that is so steeped in tradition that it's going to take a little bit of time for that to happen, but don't you know that if this does continue, that will happen.
I like it.
All right, well, next week we got a pretty interesting fight coming up, too. A guy who you've seen many times, not only on Top Rank Boxing, you've seen him on big fights, on championship fights. Iran Barkley. Barkley fighting a guy by the name of Washington, who, if I can remember his first name, I'd tell you what it was. George Adolfo. It's Adolfo. Next Wednesday night, 9 o'clock Eastern Time, 6 Pacific, and this has been Ringside Report.